Welcome to this week's topic in IRLS 521. Today we're going to learn how we can use children's and young adult literature in library settings. We will learn about English language learners in the United States, how children's and young adult literature can be used with English language learners in a library setting, and about resources that can be used for programming and selection. English language learners, also known as ELLs, coming to libraries represent many diverse languages and cultures from around the world. The majority of ELL families in the United States come from Spanish-speaking countries in Latin America. These Hispanic families may have many things in common, such as customs, food, dances, values, and the Spanish language. However, there are also many rich cultural differences within and between countries like Argentina, Mexico, Cuba, and El Salvador. The more you learn about where your library patrons come from, the easier your job will become. This includes learning more about their language, culture, values, family, and home environment. There are many ways to make this linguistic and cultural diversity a huge asset in your library. Your efforts will also make your ELL patrons and their families feel more welcome. In your library, many English language learners are interacting socially in another language beyond the home and family for the first time, hearing extensive English, being exposed books and read aloud to, and functioning as part of the learning community. Effective strategies for pre-reading and reading aloud with very young children also apply to English language learners. These strategies are especially useful for developing oral language and beginning literacy with patrons of all ages learning English as an additional language. Before reading a story aloud, preview the story and highlight key vocabulary and make a clear connection to the curriculum topic being studied. Encourage students to express keywords or concepts in their native language using a bilingual staff member, parent, or other patron if available to help interpret. Read slowly and clearly with a lot of dramatic expression. Plan fairly short read-aloud sessions. 10 minutes of listening is about all that students new to a language can productively absorb. Allow young children to hold and quietly play with something, such as a ball or doll, to help focus their attention if necessary. If there is an aide or other adult available during book reading time, seat them near English language learners to help keep them remain focused or to quietly reinforce the story. If a book is beyond a patron's language, content, or developmental level but meets other selection criteria, edit the story as you read or retell it through pictures. Encourage English language learners to talk about the story by having them point out their favorite parts in English or their home language. And if a staff member or parent is available to interpret, utilize that resource as well. After a comprehension check, follow with some literacy skill development. For example, in the book Miss Mary Mac, children repeat by chanting the 3 initial M sounds in the title and the 3 rhyming words, Mac, back, and black, that practice initial sounds and a difficult to pronounce final blend. This is a natural, contextualized way to develop an awareness of different speech sounds. Arrange for ELLs to listen to the book again, ideally in a smaller group, and provide them with additional opportunities to interact with and learn the vocabulary, structures, and information. Encourage them to retell the story to others and to take the book home if permitted. If there's a bilingual edition of the book, invite a bilingual staff member or volunteer to read it and to make it available for families. Another way to provide repeated exposure to a book is to provide an audio version. Colorín Colorado is a free web-based service that provides information, activities, and advice for educators and Spanish-speaking families of English language learners. There is an entire page and section on using children's and young adult literature with English language learners, especially for librarians. I encourage you to check it out. Thank you for viewing this presentation for IRLS 521, Children's and Young Adult Literature in a Multicultural Society for the University of Arizona's School of Information Resources and Library Science.